Chào em.
Ok, ok. Hôm nay vẫn để Thomas record với điểm danh à?
Dạ không, em record về điểm danh à?
Record với điểm danh à? Thế thì em phải vào bằng contact chứ. Tại anh lại vào bằng account này.
Của web 3 đúng không anh? Em không vào được anh ạ. Nó hiện là mật khẩu không đúng, em có vào Drive để em lấy mật khẩu ấy, nhưng mà nó không đúng. Em nhắn anh Thomas thì anh ý bảo anh ấy đang bận cái gì anh không.
Em ra em vào contact lúc login là trước login thì vào được rồi mà.
Dạ vâng, bây giờ nói thì log out của em ra em không vào lại được.
Mật khẩu là kinh tham 199 a còng cái này. Ta biết hoa này.
Kinh thì ạ?
Kinh tham 199 a còng ta biết hoa này.
À vâng vâng. Anh đợi em để em ra em vào lại.
Hey, hello everyone. Just want to greet everybody. Hello, hello guys. Yeah, hello Eric. Just please let me know.
Hello.
Mhm.
So so Ben, are you like going to be a little bit like away from the class from in like 1 hour, I believe?
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. I will. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's under control. No worries.
Okay. Cool. So we will start a little bit of introduction from the project size again, I believe, for them to introduce and let you know like who they are in general. It could be like around 15 minutes, and then you can start with the class. I think we are quite packed at the moment. So I would be and let me introduce a new teammate from my team. He also to take cover the Thomas role, working with on the project and further soon. His name also Thomas as well. His English name. His real name was Sam. So he will be taking care of the project and team from now on. So let's welcome him. So again, because he also Thomas again, so I call him Thomas again. Thomas, could you please help me out to call out the list and let everyone a chance to introduce about um, themselves and the project. And everyone, please stay focused and make sure that we only got 1 minute to make introduction.
Okay. So, uh, uh, I will call the founder of the project, and everyone will have 1 minute to make a quick intro about your project, and after that, it will be speaker uh, intro, and uh, so uh, the first one I want to call here. Uh, Anyone from another team?
Yes, I am from Nudix team. Nudix is an all-in-one Web3 platform and studio like Steam and Kickstarter, but for adult games. We solve blocked payments by traditional financial system, lack of funding for this game, and safe investing for investors in a $20 billion underserved market. We have so far attracted more than $200,000 in a community round, and now are looking for seed investor.
Okay,
That's it.
cool. Okay, so cool. The next one is Wise. Anyone
Yes,
from
so
Equality?
hi, my name is Khoi and I'm from XWise. We are a e-commerce all-in-one super app that caters toward the C digital economies that will reach like $325 billion by 2028. So we are trying to get merchant, launchpad, commission ads and affiliate networks and mini apps onto our apps. Basically, getting all of the Shopee, Amazon kind of model onto Web3. That'll be all. Thank you.
Okay, so the next one is Pretty Market. Anyone from Pretty Market team here? Okay, so we move to the next one, Hachibus. Anyone from Hachibus team?
Yeah, hey guys.
Okay,
I might try to be. I'm going to try to be. I was going to try to present, but anyway, I'm Sol. I'm from the Hatchiverse team. Hatchiverse or Hatchi is a decentralized creature collector IP. So we're like a Web3 native kind of Bitcoin wrapped in kind of Pokemon. At the moment, we are 60 odd devs working as a collaborative across 9 or so projects, 2 mobile games, a mobile and Vampire Survivors game currently in release test.
okay, cool. The next one is Miden. Anyone from Miden here?
Yeah, here. Sure. Okay. So thank you for having me. My name is Ray, the founder of BitDance. BitDance is a decentralized physical infrastructure network, and BitDance is committed to building an open data infra for personalized AI agents with privacy preserving by leveraging just execution environments, zero knowledge proofs, and smart contracts. It can be widely used in the fields of healthcare, finance, education, etc. That's all. Thank you very much.
Cool. We move to the next one, Token Tail. Anyone from Token Tail team here?
Yeah, it's me, Žygis. I'm a founder of Token Tales, and we're building play-to-save gaming studio where we're tokenizing real shelter cats and releasing them as playable characters.
Oh, that's so quick. Okay, the next one is Bogowi. Hugo, are you there? Okay, so we move to the next one. All right, Jim.
Hey, hello, Kevin here.
Yeah.
And I'm CEO from the Masterverse. And our project, Oriole, is a Gencing, a trading card game. And all the card will be NFT and will correspond to like a real world, like a diamond or ruby or sapphire, this kind of jewels. And we use it as a magical card and can use it in the battle. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. So the next one is Latin Nego.
Yes, hello. My name is Sebastian from Lattice Network. Lattice Network is a next generation decentralized storage that is capable of handling mutable and immutable data, running databases directly from the centralized infrastructure, and is also able to create connections between AI engines and store data. Thank you.
Okay. So the next one is Kuben. Any founder of Kuben being here? Okay, the next one is Porta Protocol.
Hi guys, this is Haru from Powder Protocol. So we are basically yield generation asset management platform. We already have like 3 million in AUM, where we are providing 36% APY. Now we are going to launch our Web3 uh, first vault, which will be a fixed yield vault, where we are going to provide 10% APY. And now we are also focusing on asset management infrastructure, where we are building gold. We are tokenizing basically gold vault. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Polycut.
Hi, this is Jigar from Polycruz. So we are working on fully AI-based dev store where users or any other organization can come to a platform. They can build whatever they want, smart contracts without any code. They can just plug and play. It's like kind of Shopify and all those things where user can just come to our Apple platform, use our services, and they can create their own product. And this we are giving services to B2B and B2C, both of them.
Okay. So and the next one is Google Cash.
Sure. Okay. Hey guys, I'm from founder and CEO of the Global Cash. Global Cash is a shopping tool platform that built for the Southeast Asia digital shoppers. We offering is stablecoin as the cashback with 70 plus top merchants partner. Now we powered by the agentic commerce protocol, which is the Global Cash, going to enable the AI-driven instant purchase and secure checkout like within the chat experience. User enjoy personalized quests, seasonal reward, and up to 30% as the cashback, while the merchant benefits from the seamless agentic transaction, enhance the loyalty and scalable growth. So every purchase is rewarding. Yeah, for both shopper and brands. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is Legend Pod.
Hi, this is Ahmed from Legend of Heart. So Legend of Heart is a family-friendly multiplayer Web3 action adventure game where people are able to explore, convert emotions, and send gifts to the people that they care about. Through social media, utilizing our account abstraction technology. We are very proud of being family-friendly and kids-friendly at the same time. Anti-violent, anti-nudity, and yeah, that's Legend of Hearts.
Okay. So the next one is QSTN.
Abbas this side from QSTN. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Abbas this side from QSTN. QSTN is a Web3 survey marketplace where companies can pay to customer by paying, to consumer opinions, and the users are rewarded with the crypto tokens for taking just the simple surveys. It uses the blockchain technology for a secure, private, and transparent way to conduct market research. In simple terms, we can say that get paid in crypto to share your opinions with businesses. Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Yeah, cool. The next one is Berrycraft. Any buddy from Berrycraft team here? Okay, so we move to the next one. Yes, Finance.
Hello, I'm Sean, the CEO of Aegis Finance. So what we do is we are a decentralized yield platform that let users take tokenized stock to earn yield and access to instant liquidity through a spendable Visa card. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. The last one, Jamata. Is there anybody from
Hi there.
Jamaica? Okay. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Hi, I'm Brendan from Yamada. I'm one of the founders, and with Yamada, we are building a DeFi super app that brings centralized exchange-grade performance to all markets on chain. You should think of Yamada as a universal trading infrastructure without the trade-offs that have traditionally been a burden in DeFi. We use a hybrid architecture, what we call an optimistic exchange mechanism, to offer spot, perps, prediction markets, options, vaults, and a launchpad, all on chain.
Okay, cool. So I just want to add, if is there any further being here but haven't got a chance to talk to make intro about the project? Okay. So Ben, are you here? Now it's your turn.
Yeah, I can share my screen.
I think
or would you like to share it? For me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think you should make some intro about yourself and.
Yeah, of course. It's in the next slide. I can make an intro about myself in the next slide.
Sorry.
Yeah. So hey everyone, I'm Ben. I'm basically in the DeFi RWA tokenization space since about 2018-19. So far, I have onboarded about 150 projects to BNB chain. Mostly my focus areas were DeFi, staking, restaking, liquid staking, and so on. And RWA, the category came kind of very naturally to me. So maybe you saw also the great progress that happened during this time that I was here for the past 2 years. We scaled the RWA TVL, let's say, or the real world asset value on the chain from about 4 million to 1 billion right now. The major contributor for now is still USYC. And yeah, during this time, I've been able to onboard the kind of like the best and the biggest enterprise grade tokenization platform called Securitize. It has its pros and cons, obviously, but it's currently the biggest and the most trusted by the asset managers. This integration also enabled us to launch the first tokenized T-bill product. This was a V-bill from the asset manager Van Eck. We also thereafter onboarded from the same tokenization platform BlackRock Biddle. That happened just last week. That was quite a long process, very long negotiations, and we also managed to onboard Franklin Templeton, which has its own tokenization platform kind of in-house. But yeah, their T-bill product is also quite interesting. If you go to the RWA landing page on BNB chain, you can see all the highlighted projects there, the RWA landscape, and so on. You can check it out later. And we also recently launched first tokenized stocks, which is basically Ondo. There's also Back Finance X stocks and so on, hopefully coming. But yeah, those were kind of like the main verticals that I was responsible for starting, negotiating, tailoring, and focusing also on the distribution of partners. Also, the BNB Chain Incubation Alliance, later got renamed to Demo Day Dubai. I was hosting this event that was last year in November. I was responsible for project screening, basically. The way how it works is that we get a lot of projects, typically project referrals from top tier VCs, and we screen the projects based on 4 criteria, which is going to be very important. That I'm going to repeat again in the presentation. It's about your innovation and first mover advantage, your business model, and sustainability of your revenue, your team and how it relates to your current expertise that you're building, and also your go-to-market strategy, which we're going to talk about today. Thereafter, typically after this Demo Day Dubai, after the projects are presenting for about 10 minutes, including the Q&A session, in front of 5 judges, typically from top tier VCs again, and sometimes also CZ from Easy Labs. We prepare the most promising months for incubation for us in a specific program, which I'm also going to touch later on. It's called MVB. So yeah, in 2019-20, I was involved in a tokenization platform as well, which we basically which we exited as a team to a competitor at the time. I was involved in staking infrastructure and analytics with a top 3, let's say, validator and VC also to some extent. They were Genesis validators in all the biggest L1s that we know today. I was also involved in Web3 venture building. We had a few ventures in-house. One of them was a cybersecurity company doing ISO 27001 audits, CCSF. It's a cryptocurrency, it's security standard auditing. Not very known today, but quite useful actually, teaching you and managing how to manage your private keys and so on in an organizational setting, as well as SO2 audits. This is mostly for custody providers. That was the one business. Second business was a tokenization platform, which we also built in-house and partnered with one of relatively big real estate providers. We built a platform for them and onboard users there. And there was also an L1, which did okay, but obviously it's not as known as the big L1s that we know today. We kind of so I kind of got an insight into how it looks like into different areas, different businesses, which do not necessarily correlate from the outside 100%, but we found good links between them. And I'm right now with BNB Chain, which everybody knows, right? Everybody knows BSC, but not many know that it's actually a concept of 3 different verticals. One of them is BSC, the other one is OPBNB, basically a sidechain L2 built on the Optimism stack, and Greenfield, which is the decentralized data storage solution. So yeah, that's about me. We can go to the next slide. Can somebody click on the next slide? Yeah, thanks. So for the agenda today, I'm just going to go through some principles, right? So I'm not going to present today any ChatGPT. If you want to generate your go-to-market strategy using ChatGPT, that's good. It's a good framework. But I'm going to focus here on what is beyond that, what I actually learned in practice, and what I actually saw from 150 plus projects, including the ones that I'm helping incubate and managing through the whole incubation process with a tier 1 VC. Go through some foundational concepts, obviously a bit of theory. It's those things you already know. If you're already here, you have mostly your go-to-market strategy as well. This is supposed to give you some additional insights how you can tweak it and make it effective for top tiers in the industry. We're going to go through launch phases very, very briefly, and I'm going to give you some practical steps, action items, a handout also that I prepared. It's Google Docs. No need to prepare complex presentations and so on. You can just read through it. You're going to have a bit of time to read through it. And I would ask, for you guys to give some insights into your go-to-market strategies so that I can give you some feedback and we can also discuss it as a community. I believe peer checking is very, very powerful, and there is no go-to-market strategy that works for every business at any moment. That is something like this doesn't exist because everybody would copy it then, and as soon as everybody has it, it's not attractive anymore, and nobody wants to look at it anymore. At least from my experience. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so you guys, the principles, right? So the Web3 community is very, very different from the traditional, kind of like software as a service, right? So we're much more fast-paced. Business cycle here is, 12 to 18 months maximum, right? We are very, very close to the user, right? It's very, very difficult to kind of like gatekeep issues. It's, blows up very, very fast. You need to know how to handle. It's very, very fast. So that's why I definitely, most of you probably are doing it already, but remember that this is a community-first industry, right? So this is a grassroots movement. Although we're seeing a lot of like top-down adoption at the moment, especially in the RWA category, right? Do know that most of your community is bottom up. And that's where you should probably be focused on. Also, but depending on the category and the product that you're building, obviously. Always be transparent with the community, especially also with investors. Everything is mostly on chain. It's very, very fast to discover like cover-ups or stuff like this. So basically, your best tool for building legitimacy and trust is transparency, right? When it comes to our industry, we are very, very hooked into the incentivization narrative, right? This is a very, very powerful tool. Should be used wisely though, because you don't want only the people that are here just for the incentivization, right? So what I see in practice is that also from big projects, right? So they heavily incentivize the usage, they incentivize, depositing and so on. For example, for building TVL and so on. And it's true, you need to bootstrap it somehow, right? But if you overdo it, you're going to attract a very different cabal that what you're actually wanting to attract. You're going to attract people that, people, bots, and so on, that are going to only be here, probably not even know what your project does. They just want to farm your incentives, and then take after they farm those incentives, they want to take it with them and bridge it outside of your project ecosystem or whatever you're building, right? So you need to be very selective how you deliver those incentives and how you position yourselves into communicating what type of incentive you deliver, right? Also, be aware that there's many projects also, top tier leading ones that, offer kind of like incentivization. So always be very, very, very careful when you read something, read it to the details, right? Don't just read the title, read actually what is inside, and look behind the incentivization, kind of like marketing attempts, right? Because more often than not, marketing teams are very, very separate from the product teams, which kind of like and this is to be understand, it's fully understandable, right? So marketing teams also want to have the best impressions, the best ROI on their basically time that they put into a certain projects, and they want to have the best numbers, right? So it's not a secret that sometimes it's a bit overdone, but it's okay. We're kind of like used to it in our industry, I guess, more than in the traditional industry. So decentralization is a core concept. Obviously, you can definitely empower users through DAO structures and so on. But every time when you're opening up a decentralization initiative, do make sure that the horizontal expansion of your kind of like product, right, doesn't open up new businesses. What I mean by new businesses is that when you have one product and then you introduce maximum decentralization, it's not in your hands anymore. So it's not like a traditional software as a service where you have everything under control. You can just go back, copy and paste, delete, and that's it. Here you have to, those processes, if you want to undo something, some mistake, it takes time, and it's probably going to hit to a lot of backlash from the community for trying to do something like this. So you have to be very, very careful. So interoperability obviously should be very, very important. But also should be encouraged, right? So you should work with different types of projects. But let me give you, for example, some insights into where acceptive interoperability. So obviously you should choose interoperability for your main narrative, but it shouldn't be, I believe, your first narrative when it comes to the go-to-market, at least, because if you're targeting everybody, all the ecosystems, you're targeting no one. At the end of the day, you're gonna, probably like integrate 5 different chains, which you can technically do, and this is a very product initiative. But how are you gonna get support from 5 different ecosystems, right? So you have to understand and put yourself into the shoes of people who are at foundations and who are behind certain ecosystems. They also try to prioritize those that prioritize them, right? So they this kind of like gets sometimes as a surprise, right? When you see that this interoperability narrative is kind of like good product wise, but you need to be smart about it, how you approach it, and have it based on stages and have it aligned with your business strategy, not only the product owner. So the business strategy should come first. Not that this is I believe the business strategy should come first. When you figure out the business case, how you actually make money, then you can figure out on the product side if it's worth investing the time and the resource to develop something that you can add in addition. When it comes back to those two things, I really like to use this vertical growth and horizontal growth because I kind of like had also an offline business at the end of the day, and vertical growth is pretty much profit oriented. Those are mostly suited, I guess, for startups. You first need to identify your core strengths and focus on the depth of the ocean, right? Because money is not made on the surface. You can only build an edge in the depth, and this is why you should focus first, I believe, on vertical growth before you expand and go broad. Once you have the revenue model and so on in the depth figured out, then you can always focus on generating the biggest impact, entering new markets, and this is more than basically focused on the market share, right? If you do this the other way around, you're gonna realize that you're gonna spread your capital on so many different verticals that you're completely gonna forget which one is going to be the one that actually moves the needle, right? So do be careful, because expanding too fast can have negative consequences for your business model. And if you're not able to raise at that point when you realize it, and all the VCs have very lengthy kind of like processes, you potentially put the whole business at risk. So always I would definitely encourage everybody to think about vertical growth and horizontal growth when building the business. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, so this is the next slide. It's going to be, can you click on the next one? Yeah, so so just basically the crypto marketing funnel, just keep this in mind. It's just a simple graphic. Basically, first you should build kind of like awareness. You should capture broad attention, basic social media, PR excessively, you shouldn't do excessively, but you should build the foundations for getting in touch with the community, right? Obviously this works really, really well with memes as well, and leveraging your local connections, network, expertise first before expanding a bit broader. So if you're strong at home, you can always be strong internationally, but it's never going to happen first that you're going to be internationally super strong. And I know that this sounds a bit unfamiliar, right? Because international, local, this, that, we live obviously in a Web3 world, everything is global, but at the end of the day, I closed my best deals on offline meetings, not on online meetings. So this is where you have an edge. You have locally an edge. So also choose your location wisely and be smart about where is your offline market the strongest and where your product is most needed. The engagement, you can, after building the initial awareness, obviously then you should build a bit of engagement with the community. This is obviously, Twitter is currently the most impactful one, Farcaster, and all the other ones. Who knows what's going to come? I'm still waiting for a really, really good alternative that's going to bridge, or onboard the whole user base of Facebook, Instagram, and so on into a really adopted Web3 version of that. So far, I haven't really seen it. So yeah, this is also a testament that where you can see that not the best part. I'm pretty sure that there's at least 100 startups that tried doing that in the Web3 space, but you see that if the people don't come on board, nothing of that really gets super adopted. Right? So after engagement, you have a conversion phase, retention phase, and the final stage, basically advocacy. I mean, this is pretty much theory. You can find it on ChatGPT. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, so figuring out your product market fit, starts with your product. You should definitely be very, very aware of the product. What type of the project it is heavily depends on also your strategy, right? So you cannot build the same exact templates and strategies for a Web3 on-chain auditor, an infrastructure company, and like a meme launchpad, right? So everything that you know about your product gives you an edge in the marketing space as well, right? So it's good that marketing people are also very, very aware of the product and the strengths. This is very, very key, because at the end of the day, you can sugarcoat, you can paint things nicely, but at some point the product is going to be the main thing that is going to either make or break you, right? So think about the core proposition for users, users, investors, institutions, whatever it is. How depends how you work, B2B, B2C, or a hybrid or variation of it. The users are something that you need to bring before you start fundraising, applying, and asking for support, right? So this is probably the most difficult step, and this is why I always emphasize that locally you are able to generate network effects to onboard users much more easily than if you're just hoping that it's just going to happen. So you have to be very, very grassroots, bottom up minded at the beginning to be able to generate this effect that is going to be interesting then for big VCs to be able to support you. At the end of the day, big VCs, they do not want to create growth; they want to amplify growth. So you need to show what you did at the moment when you first arrived to them and pitch your idea. When it comes to the technology architecture, right, and it should support the value proposition that you have. Your value proposition is basically how does the user recognize you as a true solution to their daily problems, right? Maybe not problems, right? Sometimes they, you're not exactly solving problems sometimes, especially not the mean ones, but you are, justifying some, you are addressing some need in the market, right? So this is important for you to understand that the value proposition should be tightly aligned with technology architecture that you're building. As I also mentioned, also customer problems are basically something that your product should be aimed to solve. Maybe problems is a hard word because there is no problem. There's problem is also a gap in a certain market, right? And it's sometimes very difficult to identify what actually the gap in the market is. If you're a bit of an outsider and you only are guided by marketing, it's very difficult sometimes to identify what the actual problem is, right? Then how does your technology compare to competitors that are solving basically the same problem? This is one slide or one section of your presentation with big VCs that you should definitely pay very, very close attention to. Do not make it generic. Make it very, very specific and very, very easily understandable. Somebody who's reading your deck and your section or about your competitive analysis, they don't want to read 10 pages of you outlining how exactly you are, different than competitors, and they lose their focus after, the first 2 minutes. Right? So you should definitely be focused to put the main advantage first, and it should click very, very fast with them if they're reading it. If it doesn't click in the first 2 minutes when they're reading it, they're not kind of interested. And what is exactly your unique selling point, right? Your unique selling point is so a bit harshly said, right? Unique selling point sometimes correlates quite a bit with being a first mover, unfortunately, right? The first movers somehow always happen to get 40% of the pie, whether they are the best product or not. The second one that enters the market gets half of the other portion, and the other 100 that enter then have to split the a few percent of what is remaining of the half of the half. So I do understand that it's very, very difficult to identify this first mover point. Sometimes it turns out by coincidence, but more often than not, it's probably being brewed at some research lab, top tier research lab, or inside of some top tier incubator or research institution with some institutional adoption, right? When you're what the rewards basically are building into the technology to incentivize behavior. I also touched briefly already on it. You should definitely build the right flywheels. I'm going to touch upon them in the next slide. You should focus also on what blockchain you're building on, and you have to understand what type of community, because on each of the blockchains, although it's just at the end of the day, it's just a big database, right? It's just a big backend, but the communities are very different if you think about it. So you also do understand that some blockchains are stronger in one aspect, the other one or in the other aspects. I'm not talking about transaction speeds and so on, but like actually how the community differs from one blockchain to the other, because there are differences. But I also mentioned, how do you address decentralization, scalability, and security, right? So those are things that you probably thought about already, but do double check with you and always align it with your go-to-market strategy. At the end of the day, it should be pretty much aligned, right? From the marketing perspective, I believe less is more, and scarcity signals exclusivity. So what I mean by just less is more, basically focus on what actually is the so focus on a clean appearance, right? Because a clean appearance signals that you know what you're talking about, right? If you are overwhelming people with different types of information when you first see them or talk to them or pitch to them, it's going to signal that you're probably not exactly sure what you want to do with your product. And if you're focusing on 5 different verticals, right? So always try to focus on the 80-20 principle, and focus investing resources where it actually moves the needle. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. And also to not forget, right? So scarcity basically signals exclusivity. I wanted to mention this one also. Because if everybody has access to everything, nobody's going to want to be part of it. So you have to be focused on parts where you kind of play a bit with artificial scarcity, so that you can move the ones that have kind of like they're 50-50, they haven't really decided, but you have to find ways how you encourage them to take action right now. One example is, for example, with deposit caps, for example, if you remember them now from the risk-taking times. Basically, those caps were more or less, sometimes artificial. So, but if somebody sees that the cap is filling up really quickly, then they're going to, they don't want to be too late because the caps are going to close. So you can play with this artificial scarcity and signal kind of like this exclusivity. It also encourages, kind of like users to, to take this information and bring it to some friends of them, because that's how they feel like they're helping somebody else. So yeah, you can play with this quite a bit. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so exactly in the product market fit, the market is actually your audience, right? So you, depending on what product you're building, so you have developer focused products more, sometimes you have users focused more, right? But at the end of the day, you're gonna interact and overlap with those four categories all the time. So in the terms of developers, right? So you need to understand that what they are thinking is, why would I work with this protocol? Right? So they need to see themselves inside of your solution, right? If you bring the best developer, ecosystem experience and so on, I believe this would be like a icing on the cake. First of all, the main message, which is going to attract them to build for you and on your protocols and leverage it, for their own benefit, is going to be their own benefit, right? So they want to see what is in it for them, right? And you can subsidize it with, giving them some cookies, right? You incentivize them in the short term, but this is very, very short term minded. This is not going to work on the long run. So do try to build developer adoption, flywheels that are for free, that ideally cost nothing. But obviously, as it always is, you need to have something to offer in return, right? So the biggest chains sometimes they have the distribution, obviously. So when it comes to the users, you need to understand what problem you're solving, which hasn't been solved before. So because the transition cost of the users is not zero. So if they're using a solution which is okay, but you offer a better solution, the migration, the mental preparedness to transition from one to another is not zero, right? So you need to overcome that hurdle that it's worth it, because, not everybody, for example, if you have 5 different exchanges, 5 different brokers, 5 different, perplexes, users are not switching back and forth just for a small, for 5 bits or 1 bit fee decrease, right? So this transition cost, you always have to keep in mind that it's an effort that the user needs to make to be able to adopt your product. And this is exactly what correlates also with what I said before, the first mover advantage, right? So first movers have it very, very difficult at the beginning, because it's very, very difficult to find something that you're going to be first mover in the first place. And then you can afford yourself a bit more mistakes than somebody who comes second, third, or fourth to the market already, right? And this is especially difficult in Web3 because it's super, super fast. Everything is super fast paced. I already touched on some points from VCs, investors, and so on. What they're also looking, what's your first mover advantage if you have any? What's your revenue model, and how do you actually make money, which translate into a growth flywheel? And very, very important, how you also mitigate risks. I think this part is becoming more and more important in the past year. Before it was, not that important, I guess. But I see increasingly that VCs are trying to minimize downside exposure, and are, from the mentality perspective, moving more and more towards the Web2 people, right? Yeah. You're gonna hear the question, for example, how do you prevent raising the next round prematurely, right? It's a question that not many founders expect, but be ready for something for questions like this. And obviously, your audience is also the community advocates, ambassadors, KOLs, influencers, everybody, who's going to contribute to your project, a lot, and cost even more. You should know how to work with them in the long term, not just work with them. So because you want to avoid, ideally, that they are part of your advocacy and part of your ecosystem even after you run out of cookies, right? So this is increasingly more difficult, especially with top tier KOLs, right? You have to understand also. You have to understand also from their perspective, they're thrown the best deals in the industry. Why would they support your project, right? So trying to find the balance is sometimes very difficult. Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. And in this product market fit, this is exactly where those two kind of like come together. I love the, those two flywheels. One is the liquidity flywheel, basically in the DeFi category, which enforces protocol fees. Those protocol fees get translated into token fees, and this relocates into basically incentive flywheels, right? So when you pitch to projects, to investors, it's not only for the investor. The user also wants to see this, right? And it's very, very difficult to design a strategy which has a healthy liquidity flywheel. Once you have some kind of incentivization out there, it should be carefully designed, and you should be very, very confident that you back tested it and know what you're doing, because it wouldn't be the first time that I see that something like this backfired as well. And obviously for the adoption flywheel, depending on what you're building, but if you have developers working with you, first it starts with developer confidence, which then translates to user confidence. You're going to have more protocol integrations as this, introductions and so on, and at the final phase, you're going to be noticed by institutional adopters. Those are definitely looking for the best deals and for the best distribution for their products, mostly, I would say, but they're not looking for protocols that have even the slightest doubt or the slightest risks that they want to use. You have to position yourself in their shoes at the end of the day, because they're making decisions which can bring down a very big institution. So if you have to make a decision which you're not sure about, are you going to make it? Are you really going to put a big institutional brand or name at risk just because you think you found the next big thing that is going to propel the institution to the next level? It doesn't work that way, right? So you have to build confidence first. Key partnerships, I kind of like, it depends. Partnerships it's kind of like a word that I see on a daily basis. They do create those, feedback loop, grow, TVL liquidity users and so on. And you should definitely have, when you're presenting your go-to-market strategy, very, very clear partnerships that fit into this specific goal that you're trying to achieve, right? So if you are a generalized go-to-market approach, also when you're presenting it on a pitch deck to a certain chain or ecosystem, it doesn't work. So you need to be very, very careful, and you need to understand what type of partnerships you need to be able to bring the person or the protocol that you're pitching to the next level as well. It's not only about you; they also have to see themselves in it, right? So, for example, just a simple sequence that you can write, and it's very, very easily understandable. For example, for category 1 that you have chosen, right? So you have to define different categories, and all of those different categories have different feedback loops, right? So first, if you're focusing on the DEX category, is your goal to increase DEX liquidity. Then you have to explain how the yield compounds. This way, also you kind of like make this collateral more valuable, and there's going to be more and more integration possibilities that you can do, which are going to create more utility. And this is basically a flywheel which ends in endless expansion. And you have to define this, each of them for separate category. It's a different one, right? So depends how you want to work with them. Let's go to the next slide. In terms of positioning, right? So you have the value proposition, where you should, in a very clear and minimalistic way, for most of the cases, articulate the problem that you're solving, and the unique, decentralized advantage, however you want to phrase it, but your value proposition should be very, very clear and very, very short. The shortest value propositioning usually have the best results that I'm seeing. Also align your messaging with the values that you're representing. Usually it correlates, with the Web3 values that we have, decentralized ownership, transparency, and grassroots movement, empowerment. Also your brand voice should be, authentic, You shouldn't be, copying anybody else. Make it your own, because authenticity is very, very difficult to build, but it's very, very easy to lose. Right? So do whatever you're doing, try to make it your own. Don't listen to too many advices how to, just stick to something that you decide and that matches also your personality, right? As the founder's personality, because we're very much in a cult industry as well, right? So the founders here are very, very important, and you as a personality leading the project probably makes a bigger difference than what you believe. So yeah, you have to have key messaging pillars intact. Ownership and participation, typically security and transparency should be definitely a priority, and innovation and interoperability should be something that you should pay attention to. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so we don't have the Game of Thrones, right? We're in the Web3 space. We have the game of incentives. The design should be your token utility. It can also be point system at the beginning. You have to understand your use cases, right? Whether it's for governance, staking, or whatever it is. You should clearly understand after you designed your incentive game, your distribution strategy. It shouldn't be just announced on a website and that's it, because that's not going to be enough. You need to know and map out and see the tunnel vision from yourself through your website, through different other distribution verticals, and see the user or developer at the end, right? So you need to know where those tunnels are starting, where does light come in, and where does the next one start. So you should clearly define this, as a train that moves through bridges. You should clearly also know, your treasury, investors, team, and make sure that the values that you incorporate also aligns with those people for the long term. So obviously there's different, mechanisms. One is with your governance play, right? For example, stakers can share protocol fees, voters can determine incentive routing, and liquidity providers, can deepen trading activity and rewards and so on, through governance. Then you have also, incentive markets, which is kind of like this productive governance narrative. This is, for example, airdrops for early adopters, liquidity mining campaigns, or kind of like increased staking rewards, which also has some downturns, or a combination thereof. For example, let me give you an example. We had one liquid staking protocol. They didn't limit themselves also only to the liquid staking, but also to getting rewards from outside, but also packaging them as staking rewards. At the end of the day, the APY was the highest. That was what was important there, and which helped them gain adoption. And obviously contributor grants and bounties. Don't go overboard with grants and those type of bounties. If you're not sure that you can afford this expense, do not make it. And your treasury, right? This is going to be probably something in the later phase of your go-to-market approaches. But do focus on incentivizing what's proven to work in your specific use case, right? Don't listen to other protocols, what they have done and so on. So what you identify that really, really moves the needle, put more money into this aspects. Do not subsidize verticals or approaches that you see that are losing money, right? So cut them very, very fast. And also, create continuous feedback mechanisms to enhance on-chain performance. On-chain performance has been very, very important for the past, few years, but on-chain performance is increasingly also moving off-chain. So, on-chain still gives you a lot of insight, but it has been, kind of like, manipulated to some extent also. So I have the feeling that it's a bit moving towards the fact that people also understand that the off-chain part is also very important, right? So the biggest trades also don't happen on the order book; they happen behind the order books at the end of the day. And yeah, your activity should encourage, fees, to raise yield, to encourage participation, and encourage basically more activity, which creates also a flywheel. And this is the way how you should deploy if you're planning to deploy part of your treasury into some incentives. And obviously, this relates also to the business model and sustainability of your revenue. Have it clearly outlined also in your pitching as like a sustainable business model, right? So avoid short-term things, and throwing out cookies, because once the cookies run out, people are going to leave you. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, so this is a very, very simple, launch approach. This is not a template for different categories. It's different, but this is just based on what I see that kind of like works, and it's just my approach. Basically, first, before the launch, you should make sure that your website, are fully optimized, and that people, when they actually search for you, because they should be able to find you with the right keywords and so on, right? Don't overblow the budget on Google optimizations, but as simple as search engine optimization strategy helps there. Building community engagement first, ambassador programs for your super early adopters. Having a right social media strategies. Obviously, not rocket science. You should be able to set this up very, very fast and efficiently at the beginning. And see how you can leverage whatever marketing tools, email, video, AI marketing, whatever it is that you believe that suits your personality the most also. The pre-launch is typically, from the go-to-market perspective on marketing, you shouldn't spend too much money. That's why I just put $1 sign. Then the second one, you should definitely allocate more. You should have certain referral programs. KOLs are across the board everywhere anyway. But yeah, you can encourage this with spaces, podcasts, and so on during the launch. Post-launch, you're gonna face probably the most opportunities where people are presenting for you to leverage and bring your business to the next level and so on, right? You should be very selective, but allocate resources there where it moves the needle. Typically, I see that, for example, articles and educational initiatives have been working well with projects that I've been working with. Building your presence and trust in research-oriented publications or appearances and so on. You can also focus on localized marketing, small localized marketing, not with too big budget allocations to that as well at the beginning. You can start with some sponsored content already and think about strategic partnership, right? So strategic partnerships is something. It's a thing, right? So with strategic partnerships, you have to understand that you need to bring more value when you approach a certain partner than what you're asking for, because the big institutions and big players in the market, they all get thrown the best opportunities all the time, and they always have to think about what kind of no-brainer opportunity and partnership should I go for now. So this is a long topic about partnerships, but you should always position yourselves into the other partner as well, and you have to understand how they're ticking. And obviously, at the end of the day, if you're going to have a token, not every business, Web3 business needs a token at the end of the day. But if you're doing TGE, this is going to be the most expensive part of your business. You need to be able to know how to navigate exchanges, IDOs, and then think about how you're going to sponsor different conferences and so on, to onboard more retail and so on. But this is going to be a separate lection, I believe, in the course later on anyway. So I'm not going to dive too deep into this. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, about your metrics, right? So your goals should be, specific, measurable, ambitious, realistic, and time-bound. This is a principle that you should, kind of embody, and you should be able to set objective key results effectively. So have a quantitative part and have a qualitative part as well. Sorry, qualitative part first, and then the quantitative part as well. For example, you have an objective, how you make your own DeFi protocol the industry leader and so on, and you need to define it by achieving a higher TVL than the competitors and so on. And you achieve, you can put the key result 1, achieve higher TVL than competitor XYZ, key result 2, achieve higher total growth number and transactions and so on. And you get the picture how this looks like. Let's go to the next slide. You also should be very, very aware of risk management. For example, for regulatory compliance, you should monitor regulations, especially when you approach localized approaches, and ensure transparency. For example, if you don't comply with the virtual asset regulator authority rules in Dubai, for example, it can mean that you're going to have to shut down your business because you're not aware of those regulatory compliances when it comes to marketing and so on. Obviously, security, reputation, market volatility. Those are kind of like the risk management tools that small startups and big institutions are paying attention to. So yeah, just wanted to remind everyone of this one. Let's go to the next slide. Yeah, so when it comes to network effects, you have different loops. The product loop is basically iterative improvement of your product. I believe you should keep it lean and robust. Do not add useless functions and information overload to the user, because you're just going to confuse him. And we are overloaded with information anyway, all of us in our daily lives. So if you are clean and clear at the beginning, this is going to be helpful and not to your disadvantage, I believe. And also, the asset loop, be sure to, stick to the 80-20 rule. Do not focus on what drains resources, double down on where you're actually strong and actually moves the needle. When it comes to liquidity, right, composable assets will always multiply liquidity. With governance, use it as a tool for directing more liquidity towards creating genuine economic activity, and not just propelling a incentive flywheel which is going to drain you. And yeah, this relates quite also with the treasury loop, right? So boost what has been proven to work in your specific case, and be focused from start to finish on the trust loop as well, right? So build credibility, access, and credibility, access, and liquidity will feed one another. So trust is going to be very important. And when you combine all of those, you're going to have big impact, which is going to make your project go to market from start to end quite bulletproof. Let's go to the next one. Next slide. Okay. So let me give you our perspective, right? So we are focusing on those 4 things that I just mentioned in the introduction as well. You can go one back. Yeah, so let me just go through it. I mentioned it already, right? So number 1 is your innovation. Where are you trying to be the first mover? Secondly is your business model and how you basically generate revenue. Thirdly, your team should be very, very clear about how the previous experience relates to what you're currently building, and how you not only present and enforce your go-to-market strategy to some extent, but also how do you bring the person and the chain and the whatever you're pitching to, how you bring them to the next level. So always inversely thinking about what somebody's hearing rather than focusing on what you're saying is very, very powerful. And yeah, there's going to be 3 phases. I'm going to go through the go-to-market playbook that I'm going to share with you. The launch strategy, you should have, there's some certain tips that I've pasted here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's go, we're going to go from launch, from pre-launch, launch, post-launch, and then discuss it with you guys. We can go to the next slide. Then go to the next one. Yeah, so basically, yeah, in terms of post-launch, you're going to see in the go-to-market playbook, I've outlined, that you should focus on, how you focus on tutorials, webinars, developer programs, identify key partnerships, not focus too much on automated outreach or something like this, especially to big corporations. They're overflooded with inquiries like this. Also how you design incentive campaigns, and identify the right geographical audience, identify also at the end of the day, the user persona and communication style. So you have to understand that different regions have different traditions, and entering a new market to some extent, and I know that we are Web3, we're all online, But at the end of the day, those offline things matter quite a bit, more than you probably think. So yeah, let's go to the next one. I think that I can also share. Yeah, and obviously, this is typically the stage at which projects come to me, right, before TGE, or like 1 quarter before TGE. About this part, you should know that do come to leading players in the market with some exchange commitments already, because they're not going to be interested in being first. So you always need to approach it from tier 3 to tier 2, and then approach tier 1. Otherwise, you're just creating noise for the person that is sitting in front of you and thinking, oh, okay, why are you even approaching me at this stage if you don't have any secured commitments yet, right? Also, you're going to face the IDO stages. You have to secure Launchpad, wallet, distribution partners, and you're going to think about probably some conference partnership sponsorships at the end of the day, where you can, then basically spend the excess that you don't really need to build your product, and you go to market at this stage. Yeah, we can go to the next one. Exactly. So here's a link. You don't see it. I'm going to paste it right here. Go through those notes here that I've pasted. And you're going to start, this is basically following the presentation outline. There's nothing new here to see for you guys. You can remind yourself in the toggles that you can see: principles, market, positioning, incentive, game of incentives. I didn't rename this one. Game of incentives, community building, launch strategy, partnerships, ecosystem growth, and so on. And go down to point number 12, and to the point number 13, and take a look at the practical go-to-market approach, and make this your own. Copy this and go and create your own. Try to identify, think about your pitch deck, think about your strategy, and identify the key metrics. You can also change them. It can be different for you, maybe, right? And follow up on the action items that you see here. If you see some helpful ones that I forgot, I'm pretty sure that I forgot a few as well. Do add them what you think that it works, and what you believe that it's right. Put your project name next to it so that we know who added it. And then then I would just ask you guys to basically open up one of your go-to-market approaches and strategies, so that we can give you some feedback. And it would be good if we would keep this a bit corrected. So take your time, take the next 15, 20 minutes for copying the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And thereafter, the first one who shares their strategy, what you have on the pitch deck, we can definitely start with giving some feedback, and that should be pretty interactive in the next part. Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself, so take your time, and see you again at 14:30.
Okay, then thank again, Ben, for joining class and everything. So, everyone, there's something I would like to mention about the next classes, and also the work you need to do this week. First of all, for next class, it happened on Thursday. So it's supposed to be, we plan to have it section on tokenomic and pricing, but then the instructor is busy on the DevCon topic. That's why we move forward with the topic of security. That would be a friend of us from Failsafe, security and audit services from Singapore, Henry. He will deliver the classes. They also will provide some credit for security as well. If you would like to work with them in the term of like audit services in general, that would be the first one. The second one is like for the one who haven't made it to meet their advisor for the very first week, please do so this week. And also this week, we also would like to meet you on one-on-one basis. Yeah, meeting you and Patrick in general. We will send out the calendar for you guys to book a meeting with us this week as well. We will show you the checking tasks, see how we can work in the next few weeks from the incubation program. Yep, that would be everything I would like to mention or to point out for today. Is there any further question from you guys regarding how we work this week? Or anyone having problem with working or booking meeting with the advisor?
Hello. Can I ask a question to Ben?
If Ben's still here. Ben, are you still here?
Oh, he's not there. Okay. No worries, no worries. Yeah, thank you.
And by the way, you got the Ben Telegram detail in the Coursera, right? So if you have any further question regarding classes or regarding the BNB chain, what he doing with the RWA things, feel free to reach out to him.
Hey, hello guys. I gave you a few more minutes. So yeah, so we went through different tips, approaches, and so on. You had some time to use ChatGPT, take a look at your go-to-market approach that you already have in your pitch deck. Let's take a look and take one presentation, take some time so that we can go through it. Feel free to share your screen if you have the ability. Eric, do those guys have the ability to share the screen and open up the pitch decks?
Hello, hi guys. This is Ahmed from Legend of Heart. Okay, where I kept it. Okay, yeah, not organized, but yeah, yeah, not bad. Yeah. Okay, so.
Okay, so
yeah,
what have you done so far with community building, social media, and how are you approaching the phase one?
So you mean like before I discuss the table, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Until now, actually, we have attracted like around 3.4 K on Twitter. We have around 550, 600 like users on Discord, and our Telegram is almost dead until now. We are not focusing on Telegram, and for community engagement, we are creating a quiz platform. Actually, I can discuss it here. I have already written about it. That people can score XP, and and whoever that like score more than 100, they will be able to mint our early legend NFT, and it will be like two NFTs. One of them is the actual NFT, the other one is try again. So like every 100 XP will allow the person to mint like it's a more like a gamified quest, and we are creating a lot of partnership and introducing them so they will help us and assist us to spread the word.
What have you seen that works best for you for now?
For now, actually, the most thing for attracting community was collaborations with different Web3 projects. Like we used to have collab managers, and we have provided OG legends, and we created an elite legend campaign for attracting high-end NFT holders.
So you're in the pre-launch phase right now, right? Which phase are you in?
Yeah, pre-launch.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we are still at MVP. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But so with the
yeah. What are you currently facing issues with? Where would you like to have some feedback from me and other founders?
Oh yeah. Actually, we need feedback regarding our quiz platform that we're gonna launch. And how can we attract more people into our quest? Because actually, our quest platform is not like a, how can I say it? It's not like a whitelist campaign. Like we can, for example, assign collab managers to go and provide spots. It's more like an open quest where people gonna join the quest and create, like, do some tasks, and will be able to mint the NFT. So it's more like a awareness thing instead of being, like something closed, like a raffle campaign. So I wanted to know how can we attract more people into our course platform.
So I didn't collaborate that much with the Quest project teams, right? But what I would do is, leverage your own Telegram and Twitter first before, fully engaging those Quest platforms and so on. There's just too many Quest platforms, and most of them are, not even sometimes by humans, right? So there's basically people there, and then they're trying to feed bots to farm incentives if you have any, or so on. So this is, I guess, a good strategy. Try to find your cabal that is going to bring those quests and adoption to their to other communities. So do leverage different communities for this, right? So it depends. I don't know what project it is exactly, and what the project vertical is.
Yeah. It's a gaming project, Legend of Hearts. Yeah, it's a gaming project. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing that we are thinking about, we are trying to target like some guilds and gaming DAOs. If you think that's a good idea.
Where do gamers spend most amount of time when they are not playing the game? So focus on those areas where they are spending time, and try to get out to those and try to kind of like hook them. The way how you're gonna hook them is maybe trying to find some person who has been deeply in the gaming space, and try to find the early adopter in those type of people. So I have to be transparent with gaming projects. I have a bit of experience, but it's a bit out of my typical scope. But yeah. Try to leverage different analytic platforms as well. Make yourself visible. So let me give an example once. But yeah, that's accessible after your launch as well. So it's a bit more challenging, right? So for example, projects that launch on, for example, our chain, after they are fully launched, make the announcement and so on. Thereafter, you can basically make your profile on that day, right? So on that day, other projects can also discover you. So do leverage some places where you are able to position yourself as like a gaming leader and so on, to be able to attract like-minded people and so on. Any other person from the community that here from the founder community that can give us that would be able to give some feedback as well? At least one person. That would be cool to know. Just unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. I can just mute myself so I can speak.
Maybe someone can share something that worked for him. Yeah.
Is it possible to ask a question without sharing the screen?
Absolutely.
Because yes, okay.
Yes.
So I represent Nudix. We are a Web3 platform for adult games, and also later we want to introduce crowdfunding for adult games. So basically a Steam plus Kickstarter, but for adult games. And we do this because a lot of adult, just any adult projects, not just games, they face difficulties from payment processors. So we want to build our platform in payment infrastructure entirely on crypto. So my question is the following. We have, let's say, we are a blend of Web 2 and Web 3. Well, we have a Web 2 part, which is basically the platform. Yes, it's the business model is same as Steam. So we attract players, we attract developers, and well, we have ideas how to do that. We have experience in game development. What we don't understand well is attracting Web3 users. So we have started building our community. We have Discord with incentives and some opportunities, yes, to win some USDT. Yes, we do publishing, but my question is, what it would be, because you talked about finding the right incentives. What would be the right incentives in your opinion for a platform? Maybe we should develop some mini games where users can win crypto. I mean, with adult content, mini games. So something that would make sure people engage with our platform, not just farm incentives. Because the main Web3 product would be ready a bit later, the crowdfunding part. So yes, people could basically put money into promising adult games and then receive a percentage of their profit. But that comes like a few years because we need players and developers for our platform to grow. And for this period, like what incentives would you say would be good incentives?
This is very niche, but you have to understand how people discover those type of product and so on. Right? So When the internet started, that was one of the most booming categories, right? The reason why is because it's very, very difficult to get adoption from the public space. So you have to understand that you are in a very, very niche environment. Your niche environment, identify the best possible distribution alternatives, and focus on those on the Web 2. So I believe, so Web 3 is something that you can leverage, but this is not a inherent Web 3 on-chain product, right? So step number one, start using Web3 and crypto as a payment method. This is this is still Web 2.5 business. So first make a step towards Web 2.5. When you see that you gain interest from Web3 users, then you can fully go kind of like on chain, right? So until you have found the right audience that are going to be attracted to this, it's going to be difficult to push this into the Web3 community. You may be one of the first movers that are doing this, right? So use it maybe as your strong point, but you're for sure going to have a lot of backlash from the industry. Not from the industry, sorry, but from offline marketing and those type of things. It's going to be difficult, obviously. So what I would focus in your case is not throw out cookies too much. You can have maybe a point system implemented, number one, and number two, just making sure that you are one of the first maybe Web 2 platforms that is going into Web 3, and you're enabled payments in this system. Doesn't have to be payments that are only in a certain token. It can also be, for example, with staking different assets, for example, right? So time-bound payment, meaning that, for example, you can stake certain amount of, Ethereum or whatever token it is, and this can be the payment method. I didn't see something like this from other platforms. So this can be maybe something where you can say, where you can, kind of like intrigue the mind of the Web3 user and say, okay, this is something new. This is not a direct payment. This is something, kind of like, if you take a look at the payment processors, what they're doing for the exchanges, some of them are doing, right? They are basically staking certain assets in your token staking, so that they have access to certain content, right? The more you stake, the more access you have to certain content, or unlock different levels of the game that you're trying to set up, right?
Yes, I can comment on that. Yes, we have an idea that after we launch our token, the more token user has, the more privileges, like VIP levels opens for him. So he might have a discount for games, or maybe access to exclusive access to some beta, and also we want to implement the system for the developers as well. So if they hold our token, they would also receive benefits. So maybe we would promote their games more, and so on. So yes, that is definitely a part that we intend to do. But again, it would come up only after the platform has enough users and developers.
Yeah.
So
you can build a fantastic flywheel, basically combining the platform, combining playing which I assume the platform core is the content, and combining it also with some certain e-commerce, right? So, and you can play around, for example, with staking and capturing attention, right? So maybe you can make a point system for attention, meaning that if you verifiably spend a certain amount of time, you can use certain points, which you can then use in the e-commerce store, perhaps, right? And obviously you can also leverage, for example, decentralized data storage, for example. If somebody would like to, store data on chain or whatever the data is, right? Which cannot be censored, which cannot be compromised, and so on, in a secure way, not in a server, in a centralized server. This can also take your advantage.
Okay. Thanks for very good ideas. We'll try to implement them.
I see two hands, Brendan and Sebastian.
Hi, Ben. Thanks for a very interesting talk. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay.
Sure.
I found it interesting what you were saying about the incentivized campaigns. So we have about, I think we have 10,000 on X now. We found I've given up on the likes of Taston and all of those kind of platforms because I think they work if you're trying to pump a token or something or make a lot of noise in a short space of time, but the actual conversion rate of them to users is almost zero. So right now, like we found we get the best results from cross posting. Obviously, we got cross marketed by Safe, Bybit. We're a finalist, and we're a grant recipient from Somnia blockchain as well. So we found the followers we got from those things were actually interested in what we're doing, but the kind of mercenary platforms are almost useless. Now, this is all on testnet. So when we are actually launching, which I hope is going to happen in Q1, maybe sooner, this is kind of the plan at a high level. I don't know what you think. So we've 4 key pillars to the strategy. The first is partnering with other high-performance blockchains. We're already grant-backed by Somnia, like I said, and we hope to place Yamata as a liquidity backbone for these ecosystems. The second one is rapid project expansion. So we call ourselves a super app, but I'm actually thinking twice about it now since what you said about sticking to one vertical. We have spot trading, perps, prediction markets, options, and we will soon have the launchpad and vaults as well. So we wanted to roll those out quite quickly, essentially just to capture attention. I'm wondering though, perhaps we should focus on the core stuff first, which is probably spot, since perps is mega grounded now, but hyperliquid. The third one is we will be doing a node sale. So how Yamata works is there's a network of validator nodes which there's a duplicate record. An off-chain sequencer matches at centralized exchange speed, and there's a duplicate record recorded on chain. All the fees then sit in a smart contract and don't get released to us until both records have been verified by a network of validator nodes. So the idea essentially is to do a node sale, not just to raise funds, but to actually kind of empower people or give retail skin in the game. What we're hoping to do is convert these people to ambassadors, basically, rather than the usual kind of mercenary people you get chasing incentives. And then the fourth is a market maker incentive program, which I think is, we're not exactly reinventing the wheel there. We'll have token rewards of 5% or something is allocated to that. Trading and exchanges is obviously a mega crowded part of the space. So we're hoping to, firstly, by having a kind of rich product suite will be a differentiator, but the go-to-market is pretty much dominated by the nodes and getting people involved, running a node, which is pretty much passive. But there's definitely going to be an ask of them to get some skin in the game. What do you think? What do you think, basically?
So let's start from number 1. So the market maker incentive program. Try to figure out with market makers how you can work with them, and how they want to work with you. Do not come with a fixed, amount at the beginning and so on. Try to figure out how. So approach market makers and saying, how many users can you bring first? So focus and clear this question first before you allocate any type of incentive programs. You can, for example, to attract them, you can maybe make a blog post or X article, or find your ways of this how you want to distribute it, and you can announce a kind of like a market making incentive program. You can say that you have a certain budget allocated to it. You don't have to spend it. You just have to say that you're allocating it. And if you find the right market makers that can, give you the 3, OKRs that you have focused on with them, then, have a call with them, select them, and try to figure out how you're gonna work with them in the long term. Do be careful with market makers, though. It wouldn't be the first time that I see that they have, got projects wrecked. When it comes to when it comes to performance blockchains, I mean, you're building a great category. It's currently quite hyped. It's very, very successful category. Proven to make money at the end of the day. From Web2, from exchanges, we're moving more into DeFi. So it's certainly a sustainable category. try to find the right home for you, where you're going to launch the token, where you're potentially going to launch something on chain as well. I mean, many perp dexes, for example, don't have stuff on chain, which is perfectly fine. And try to find a good partner with that helps with distribution. So I can tell you how we, for example, we do that, right? So we try to focus on distribution with non-custodial wallets that we're working with certain exchanges that have alpha programs and so on. So this is for the TGE, this is obviously very, very interesting, and you can if you have a good point system implemented, people are going to see that there's probably something coming. For the decentralized node network, this is a perfect fit also for restaking. So restaking protocols are exactly designed to bootstrap node networks. This is path number one that you can take. You don't have to spend excessive resources to set this up from the beginning from scratch. You can get a restaking protocol to partner with you and to help you with this. There's many out of them. The one that I saw that executed restaking quite well, have active sets were, for example, kernel DAO. It's one of BNB chain native protocols, so I'm a bit maybe in my own bubble, but during research, restaking here seems to be the exactly right solution, where how you can onboard more users, have your healthy node bootstrapping initiative, and not spend doing this whole thing. Yeah, so I mean, rapid product expansion. I mean, this is something further down the line, but so leverage. So give an example how our ecosystem tries to help projects beyond after they launch and so on. I mean, this is something quite basic. And this is maybe interesting for everybody also to hear. So for example, we have like a Kickstart program. You have different kind of like discounted services there for auditing, for market making, and so on. And try to go tap into different ecosystems and try to find. I don't know if all of them have this Kickstart program, but you can find certain offers there in advance, right? I mean, but this shouldn't be like the first thing. And you can also take a look at the incentive campaigns that we are doing. Have a look at it, how we are doing it, what has kind of like been working, and you can make yourself a picture how a professional incentivization campaign kind of like looks like from top tier players. And the restaking part I already mentioned. This seems to be kind of like a good fit, and I'm not sure that any of the perpdex or like something similar has done anything so far. So you would be somebody who would leverage potentially it's the first time.
Great. Thanks for that, Ben.
Thanks a lot. Well, I have one more hand. Yeah, Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you. So let me share, but before that, I wanted to mention an idea to Ahmed, I believe, from his gaming platform. One thing that we have found that is useful is actually using already Quest as platforms like Dwork and Silly, right? Because there are many promotions there, so people peruse them and find stuff in those places. So if you put your Quest there instead of a dedicated platform, then you're gonna get more eyes from that. Well, we are a decentralized storage platform, and we are pushing the technology a little bit to the next level because we can handle mutable data. We can also handle databases directly from the node infrastructure. But like anything of this nature, we have the chicken and egg problem, right? How we get node operators or users, which one do we get first? So our idea for this is actually targeting proof-of-stake networks. Proof-of-stake networks tend to be very concentrated. Only a few make enough rewards from block production to sustain their operations, right? So here we have some small statistics of the networks, the PS networks with the most nodes. Obviously, Ethereum blows everyone out. But our idea is a little bit to start with Cardano because we come from that network and we have a lot of connections there. Cardano has a decent number, 2,700, and most of those are running their own hardware, right? They are not on AWS or whatever. So yeah, the idea is basically target them, get them to run our node along their Cardano stake pool and delegate storage to the network. And Cardano's particular, even though there are 2,600 node operators, only around 20% make enough ADA to sustain their the cost of running the node. So I think there is a wide market there, right? So obviously, the question will be how we solve this chicken egg problem, and how if it is a good idea to start on Cardano, maybe other chains would be more clean or something like that.
Yeah. So definitely, two things come immediately to mind, right? So try to tap into validators that you can kind of like access. Not all of the big validators are going to be wanting to speak with you. Get some feedback from them. But this is also potentially something where you can leverage restaking to bootstrap the network, right? This is focused on your daily active user acquisition, right? This is number one. But you need to have a unique product, not only the proof of stake network doesn't sell and get adoption just because it's a new network, right? So with like a new validator sale, kind of like the concept is still there. It can be quite powerful, but you need to be careful. I want to present one good use case where I just remembered it, right? So they have it's a mix of building exclusivity through scarcity and onboarding early technical high quality ambassadors, and by pretty much really OG team where you can take a look at. I find this example quite good. It's called web3.io, the Knights program. So kind of like the Knights, right? Everybody sees himself as a knight. Not only, so you actually are filtering out the people that do not want to spend a certain amount of money to a validator program. So this costs something, right? So for one node, it costs $25. It's not for free, because if you give it for free, it's worthless. People perceive it as worthless. It needs to have a cost which is bearable, not too high, and they need to know how they are becoming part of this ecosystem, right? Because those are going to be your long-term adopters that believe in this project. You can see why become a knight, right? Early access advantage, no hardware barriers. They make it very, very easy to set up, multiple revenue streams, back real utility, and share real growth, basically, right? So what they are doing is basically fund. So part of the rewards that are going to come from those validators, right? It's not only from the token staking; it comes directly from the fundraising as well. So they know that those validators that are going to be run are not going to have infinite sell pressure. So yeah, this was one strategy that I found actually quite interesting and quite good.
Thank you.
This use case, this specific use case, I found actually quite good. Yeah. Yeah, Mitesh.
Hi there. Mitesh here, Polyclus. So
hello.
as Polyclus is building the no-code AI-driven solution for the Web3 creator and the enterprise without writing a single code. So we are building a no-code Web3 builder tools application where we have all the pre-built storefront apps and plug and play all the chain and enterprise solution. And this is for the mass build adoption. So let me have the current innovation and traction wise also. So here is all the current traction with the Polycruz. And our we have connected with, we have won the BNB AI Hack winners. So as you know that BNB chain is also offering us the early stage program development as well, and integration the dApps with their BNB chain platform. So this is how our early stage traction going on with the BNB chain partners. And this is the business model that we are targeting. And apart from, we are launching the NFT passes, where we are onboarding the early stage of the community with our first beta launch of the Polycruz AI Studio. So this is our current launching phase of the pre-launch. So can you please help us how we can align with the BNB chain partners
partnership and our own self, NFT Pass launching and the Polycus AI Studio.
Mm. Yeah. So I mean, this is very refined already, right? Pitch deck also looks very, very nice. So for NFT drops, right, you have to rely on your peers, your peer partners, right? You will see that, for example, NFT campaigns are not going to be something that they're gonna. So BNB Chain marketing team is not gonna enforce this. The reason why they don't do, if you position yourself in the other side, you're gonna see that BNB Chain officially would take a risk if something goes wrong with this. That they would ask for our help to resolve and so on. So when it comes like to quests, right, it's a very, very high risk for somebody officially to endorse this, at least from the BNB chain perspective. So yeah, as hard as it sounds, you have to leverage basically peers for the NFT drop there, and try to work with different KOLs from this from your niche and from your local community to see how you can bring adoption to your product. You already added also the RWA category, right? For example, for us, this is a very, very important category. And once you have built a few use cases there, you can definitely be included to the RWA landscape, which is like a website that has a lot of eyes that is getting from our ecosystem. And you can it's more easy to connect basically to other RWA builders as well. So this is definitely something that I think that definitely moves the needle for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I think I have 3 more minutes. Then we're gonna have to drop. Cayman, sorry.
Hey, hello, Ben. Thanks for your time. Let me share my screen.
Hello.
And can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear. Can we just please make sure to keep it short? And if we don't manage to give you feedback right now, I can also do it after this lesson. It's not a problem.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So I going to share my origin idea about the thing about GameFi problem. GameFi problem, there's an integration to combine the two community like Web2 players and Web3 trading traders. They are focused on different point. Gameplay is gamer is focused on fun, but like a Gen 5 player mostly focus on DeFi or a value. So because our Orion is a card game, so before our team is a fully indie game developer. So this is our first project to touch Web3 technologies. So we put all the gens as NFT cards and separate to the different tiers. And we want to make a system to use Web3 technology to let the player and traders they can swap their gens card, and during the transaction, and that has a random by a chainlink VRF to let the randomly level up their cards to make their card has a more value. And yeah, so right now we are testing so much direction. So for example, we have some incentive mechanism, we use a Web2 style, has a tournament to challenge the boss, and we are focusing on gaming stuff because we are a gaming focused team. So our project is 70% will be gaming, but 30% will be Web3 stuff. So we already I copy your GTM playbook, and this is our key metrics, and we listed on their side. This is all we start to do and in progress. So we do a lot of things, for example, we make a trailer video and start to our X page, fans page, and host some a gaming night and participate some Web3 events. And I want to know what do you think about is a good idea to touch more Web3 players, because we usually to touch the indie game players, for example, on the Steam, but this is our first challenge to like to the Web3 players. All we will know about like a player trace well is in like a GameFi play to earn generation, but we all know that this is a fail because when the players focus on earn again, most of them will become not fun or no gaming. So how do you think about that?
I understand. I understand. I mean, look, full disclosure, I'm a bit in my own bubble, right? So I'm in DeFi, RWA, and this type of categories, right? So I don't have that much super big insight into the gaming category. So everything I say is probably wrong. But if you scroll up and see from my handbook that I shared, if you follow the go-to-market topics, right, from your market positioning, incentives, community, launch strategy, partnerships, ROI, risk management, network effects, and flywheels that you're building. If you take those headlines and combine it into a one-pager, you are going to have something that you can present to somebody who can give you better advice for gaming projects and this type of thing. I can only suggest to be in touch with peers that are in this category. I don't have the best advice for gaming, to be honest.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, I think that your GTM playbook is help a lot for us because for the Web3, this is a starlight, a start point to that we follow. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome, guys. I have a hard stop. So thanks a lot for this opportunity. If you would like to check your one pager of go-to-market, do drop me a DM. You have in the slides on the first slide where the speaker details are. You have, if you click on my Calendly, all the social links there. Drop me a message in Telegram, and I'm gonna assist you as best as you can, guys.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks
Thank you a lot for joining the class. Thank you, everyone. Wish you a pleasant day, night, depending on where you are. Talking to you guys soon. Bye-bye. On the recording and material will be updated on our Causeway. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Ben.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.